Hey, what's going on? You know who it is. You know what it is. All right, you guys. I'll talk about the Bill Haney, Gary Russell Jr.'s brother thing. I'll talk about that in a minute. I'll talk about the whole panel thing. I'll talk about that in a minute. But let me talk some pop culture right quick. You know, as a dude that like follow movies and follow like the whole Hollywood thing, as a dude that considered pursuing a career in acting and all that kind of stuff, I had to get that up real quick because I wasn't willing to go to the extreme as some other people would to be in a movie, and I'm not compromising myself like that. But nevertheless, I want to talk about Isaiah Washington and what has become of his career since Grey's Anatomy. You know, Isaiah Washington was a great actor, a prominent actor. You know, he did a lot of different movies. He was in Romeo Must Die. He did good work in that movie. He did good work in a couple of other movies. Well, a few movies. But unfortunately, ever since the Grey's Anatomy thing happened, his career kind of like went downhill. He was, you know, he has resorted to just taking roles and just, you know, films and TV that you would feel is above him. And I know some people gonna say, well, work is work. Well, not really. When you have to demean yourself, or there's roles when you get to a certain level in your career, they're beneath you. You don't take. Do you think at this stage in Tom Hanks' career, do you think he would actually do a bachelor party too? Or a Splash too? Because there's levels to this. You think Denzel Washington would do Virtuality 2 or something? No, he wouldn't. Because he's beyond that. You get to a point where there's certain roles you just be like, nah, this you know what I'm saying? I'm past this point. Like even Will Smith is past that point. You know? Even though Will Smith, some of the roles he's taken have been hit or miss. I mean, he hit it big with Bad Boys 3. Or Bad Boys for Life, aka Bad Boys 3. But unfortunately, outside of what was going on with him in film, well, you already know the story behind that. But you look at what's going on with Isaiah Washington. He's resorted to playing low count characters in shows such as P-Valley, which, by the way, P-Valley, that show is just trash. When I say that show is just trash, and it's just every bit of what's wrong with black film and how black women are perceived. And the funny thing is, you hear a certain demographic of women talking about how they don't want to be objectified by, and particularly black men, but then let me get this straight. If a white dude write a check alongside with a black woman, then it's okay. So let me get this straight. You okay with white men and black women objectifying you, but you want to demonize black men? Because keep in mind, that was the label, the bag that they put on black men about the videos and all that kind of stuff. You heard everything from, you know, oh, they put all the light skinned and the white girls in the front of the video, and they stick us dark skinned women in the back. So you heard all of that. This is what I say. Sometimes the black man, you know, is the enemy to everybody. Is a threat to everybody. And don't get me wrong, I got my sisters back, for real. But I do feel to a certain degree, which I'm glad there's some sophisticated sisters on here that's calling out the bullshit with these black women too. You know? Like I keep saying, people love, but then again, some people love and hip hop. I don't. But the person that created it is a black woman, Mona. And that's all she see black people as. Stereotypical, ghetto, raunchy, ratchet, you know, that talk loud and want to fight basically about anything. That's how she see black people when she do it for ratings. But she ain't been called out. But if a black man was doing that, they'd be attacking him. Not only would you have white people and non-blacks, like somebody give a damn what they think, you would have black women doing it. But now that you have black women objectifying and exploiting black women, then it seemed to be okay. The same thing with music. You had all these women groups attacking black rappers, saying they didn't respect black women, but then you have these artists like Cardi B and etc., City Girls, Megan Thee Stallion, who talk about that kind of shit from a female perspective about objectifying men, or saying it's okay to sleep around for money if the dude paying you, basically to prostitute yourself. And they say, oh, well, black men only see us as hoes and all that kind of stuff. Well, what about the female rappers that do it and say it's okay to do it? So you see the double standard? I mean, like, really? But nevertheless, let me get back to Isaiah Washington. Now, in case you guys don't know the Grey's Anatomy thing, basically he got into it with Patrick Dempsey. He allegedly made a comment to Patrick Dempsey because, you know, Patrick Dempsey became McDreamy or whatever his name was. I never really watched Grey's Anatomy. I may have best saw that show like 2 times because I just wasn't into it. But you heard about it. But Isaiah Washington got into it with Patrick Dempsey allegedly. I'll say allegedly. But it's been verified for the most part that it's true. And basically, you know, Patrick Dempsey let the status go to his head. Keep in mind, Patrick Dempsey was a failed Hollywood actor who, you know, at first he played in a lot of those teen movies. He was sort of like a Brat Packer, but he wasn't. But he was sort of like, you know what I'm saying, affiliated, but he was never officially a Brat Pack. It was really Emilio Estevez, Molly Ringwald, Ali Sheed, Judd Nelson, Anthony Michael Hall, you know, those cats, Rob Lowe. But Patrick Dempsey was kind of like, he was around when they was popular, but he was never officially a Brat Packer. But he had a string of bombs. So basically his career sort of had died down. You know, he had a terrible like 90s. You wasn't really seeing him in very many things. But then around the 2000s, the early 2000s, you know, Grey's Anatomy popped up and he sort of like made a comeback. You know, he played in Scream 3 if I'm not mistaken, but he was what he was like in the mid 80s, late 80s. So apparently, you know, the McDreamy thing made his head, you know, blow up, and he clashed with Isaiah Washington. Now they saying allegedly Isaiah Washington said he was acting like a little, you know, the other F word, you know, not the one that rhymed with buck, but it rhymed with hag. So apparently Katherine Heigl, which I'm glad her movie career flopped, her and another dude, I forgot what his name, who's openly gay, they basically went after Isaiah Washington. And to make a long story short, Isaiah Washington was unfairly attacked. Name ran through the mud. Even after he apologized and went to sensitivity classes, his career never really was the same. And eventually he ended up leaving Grey's Anatomy. He went on to do a bunch of like B- like low budget movies. He would make a TV appearance here and there. Now, he was working on a show post Grey's Anatomy. It was like a detective show that was supposed to take place in Oakland. But something happened, and they basically shut the project down. Now keep in mind, Danny Glover had a detective series that was going to take place in the Bay Area as well, and he shot a pilot, and it never aired. But ever since then, Isaiah Washington, the roles he took afterwards, his career just has never been the same. Now, before he showed up on P-Valley, which I think that show is just trash. I mean, when I say that show is just trash, it's just trash. I mean, I'm gonna do a review of P-Valley. I tried to watch it and be objective, but yuck. Now, before P-Valley, Isaiah Washington had a recurring role on that show, Survivor's Remorse, which was a solid show, which kind of the way they ended the show, the last episode wasn't even really a last episode. They just basically just cut that show's water. Now, the funny part about it is the show was executive produced by LeBron James and Maverick Carter. But the last episode, it was just trash. It left you hanging. It was no closure to the characters. It was just like they just said, you know what, we ain't gonna pay for this show no more. It's a wrap. It was sort of like, I mean, it had like a Malcolm and Eddie type ending. And y'all know how they ended Malcolm and Eddie. But yeah, he played the dude's father, who was in prison. And then, you know, afterwards, once again, he periodically turned up on certain stuff. But then now he turns up on a recurring role on, he's one of, you know, he's a regular on this show called P-Valley, basically about a broken down strip club where every stripper in that work at the strip club got issues. Now, I'll do that in a separate video breaking down that show. But Isaiah Washington plays like a sort of crooked mayor, you know, in this small town in Mississippi. His character, you just look at him, what has became him, you just be like, wow. And it's a shame. It's a shame. But yeah, ever since Grey's Anatomy, his career has suffered. And that's messed up what happened to him. He's a good actor. But it just goes to show you how, you know, when you a brother, you make one mistake, they never let you live it down. But then if you white, you say something and you give a crumped up apology, even though Isaiah Washington apologized, his career still has never been the same. And like I said before, that show P-Valley, I'm surprised that they ain't started a petition to get that show taken off the air. But yeah, this your boy Town Biz. Let me know what you think. I'm out.